Well, hello all. I'm here to answer the age-old question that I know all of you are thinking or wondering. I know it. No, it's not. Why are we here? If life is so great, why do roses have thorns? Things like that. No, it's actually why in Spain people speak with a lisp when people here do not. And by here, I mean in the Americas. So I'm here to answer that question because I know you've been wondering that all day long. So, first of all, it's not a lisp. It is just Peninsular Spanish. And it is Peninsular Spanish that was from Castilla, which is where all of the great Castilian Spanish comes from. So why do they speak it there, but it didn't happen there? Well, first of all, let me tell you where it comes from. So as we know, Spanish came from Latin. So there are these great little letters that are TS, which is actually not how you would say it in Latin. It's like there's a linguistic word for it, but you're not going to care. So I'm just going to say it sounds like, okay? Kind of like a soft pizza, okay? So anywho, what happened is that little TS then changed to the cedilla. And that's actually what that is called. It's the cedilla. Now, if you speak French or Portuguese, you're familiar with the cedilla. Actually, that's backwards. I should be writing everything backwards. Let's try this again. All right, let's see here. S, T, and then we're going to try to do a backwards cedilla. I've never done this before. So let's see if I can make this happen. Ooh, now things are making sense, right? So let's look at this one. All right, don't look at that. So anyway, so that sound right there is still used in the Portuguese, but in Spain, back in the day, it sounded like this. Well, guess what? Letters came from there. If you guess the C and the Z, you are correct. So we journey on down in the morphology of Spanish. And let me see if I can do a backwards Z. This is going to be super impressive. And a backwards C. So there you go. So words that have a C or a Z in them have that sound, that lispy sound. So for example, but they have to be they can't be the hard sounds. They're next to E's and I's and, E's and I's and Y's. So for example, the word zebra in Spanish is a very difficult translation, zebra. Right? So you would say zebra with this little cedilla sound. See? Or you would say but you wouldn't say Caston because Caston has the hard C. It's beginning, it's next to an A. So you wouldn't do it like that. But let's say you want to say medicine in Spanish. So that's medicina. So you would say that with this little sound right here. It has the C. So that is why. So then why don't we say it in Latin America? Well, because in Latin America, Latin American Spanish is actually derived from Andalusian dialect, which is the south of Spain. They were dealing with all their Moorish goodies, and they loved Arab culture, and they maintained a lot, and they maintained that accent, and it was very, very tough to Castilianize the south of Spain because, frankly, they liked what they were doing, and they were like, forget Castilla. So as a result, and because most of the people who came to the Americas initially were from the south of Spain, which is Andalusia, they came with their accent, which is just pronouncing everything like an S when required or a C when required. So that's why we would say zebra instead of zebra, and that's why we say medicina instead of medicina, because we're here in Latin America, and that's how they would say it in Andalusia. So this also points to my previous argument that I used to make all the time between ala and hala. Same reasons. The H sound was something that Andalusia kept and Castile did not. So that's also why we call it the Alhambra, because that's in Andalusia. Whereas if you're in a speaker, you hate pronouncing the H because we're used to not doing it. So anyway, this is your little linguistic lesson. I hope you've enjoyed it and learned something today. And please stop calling it a lisp. It has nothing to do with a king or a monarch who had a lisp. You sound stupid when you tell that story, so please stop telling that story. All right, ciao.